Okay, Miss Whitaker here, and this is for pre-AP class. We're learning about box and whisker plots today. Box and whisker, it's just called a box and whisker just because that's what it kind of looks like. We got a box and then we have some whiskers on the side, so it does sound kind of strange, but it's pretty simple. You're going to need 5 basic things, but before we get to that, let's just talk about some basics. Box and whisker plot displays variability, and variability is how the data is spread out. So variability is how data changes or how it's all spread out. If we put it on a number line or if we just spread out all the data, what would it really look like? What's our data really telling us? All right, so when we have a set of data, as you see in these notes right here, we put them in order from least to greatest. So starting with the 1 going up to the 9, and we have a whole bunch of repeats. So we've got a whole bunch of data here. Now after we put them in order, the first thing we want to find is the median. So that's the number here in the middle. When we have 2 numbers in the middle, we're going to find the average of those 2. But when we have 1 number, that's our median right there. Now, with variability and with a box and whisker, we're really concerned now about how it's all spread out. After we find our median, we're now going to separate our data into a lower half and an upper half. So when we find our lower half, we want to find the median of our lower half. Now please notice that I did not include the median of all of our data. That's going to be by itself, and then I'm going to separate the rest of the numbers into our lower half and upper half. So after I find my lower and upper halves, I want to find the median of those halves, and it looks like 4 is going to be the median of my lower half, and that's called the first quartile. The median of the lower half is called the first quartile. And then if I move up to the upper half, it looks like 8 is the median of my upper half, and that's called the third quartile. So we've got a first quartile and a third quartile. You might be thinking, where's the second quartile? Well, the second quartile is the median of all of your data. That's the second quartile. And what this does is this divides our data into 4 groups. Those are called our quartiles, and we're going to be calling the medians by the first quartile and the third quartile, and then the median of our data. Let me erase all this. We got a lot of writing up here. All right, so just make sure that you understand. We put our data in order least to greatest. Then we have our median of our data. Then we separate into lower and upper halves. Once we've separated our halves, we want to find the median of the lower half and the median of the upper half. The lower half median is called the first quartile. The upper half median is called the third quartile. So now we've got 3 numbers here. We've got the first quartile, the median, and the third quartile. All right, let's move on down as it talks about a box and whisker. Now a box and whisker plot says displays the quartile values as well as the lowest and highest numbers. Now the sides of the box, this says right here, the sides of the box are made up from the first to the third quartiles. The median is inside the box, and we'll also be marking that with a vertical line. The median is inside the box and marked with a vertical line in the box, wherever that median is. All right, so let's take the example that we have here in the middle of the page. These are the 5 things that we're going to need to make our box and whiskers, so please circle that. We're going to need our lowest value in all of our data. We're going to need the first quartile, which was the median of the lower half. We're going to need the median, the third quartile, and our highest value. Once you have those numbers, you can make your box and whisker. So remember that the box is made up of the first quartile to the third. So here in our box, we're going from 4 to the 8 to make up our box. The median was 6, so we're going to mark the 6, the median inside the box. Then our lowest value is going to make up our whisker on the left, and our highest value is going to make up the whisker on the right, and then we are done. So let's do this example. down here on the bottom, number 3. All right, they have them in order for us, so the first thing we're going to need is the median. The median is going to be 48. First quartile is going to be 47. Third quartile is going to be 49. All right, now our box is made up from our first to our third quartile, so 47 to 49. Our median is 48, so we're going to mark that with a line. And then our lowest data is 45. Our highest data is 53. And then we're done. That's our box and whiskers. All right, just a quick note. If you have a data set that's got an even number of numbers and you have 2 numbers in the middle, you need to find your median, but you're going to separate those numbers so they'll be a part of the lower halves and the upper halves. So make a note of that. Let me know if you have any questions.